We're going to be working on the other tank option today. This is our Tough Stuff stock tank, 40 gallon. It's basically just black plastic. It's potable. It's designed for animals to drink out of, so it shouldn't leach anything. Those are good qualities you want for your fish tank if it's not going to be made out of glass. Glass is also inert. So what we're going to do is we're going to outline where we're going to put a window in this. So this is in your house, you're probably going to want to be able to see your fish. So we're going to take this small piece of Lexan, it's a 1/4 inch, just shy of a 1/4 inch piece of Lexan, and we're going to make an outline on this side to cut a hole and then glue and screw this in place so it becomes part of the side of the tank and you'll be able to see the fish swimming around inside. All right, to do that, we need to create our template where we're going to cut the holes. So ultimately what's going to happen is this is going to have a bunch of holes screwed into it. This is 8 by 10. The hole it's going to go into is going to be roughly 9 by 7 because we need that edge to put epoxy glue in, and that epoxy glue is going to seal this off to make it waterproof. And we're going to put screws through this to sandwich it all together so you've got a nice waterproof side, because you're basically, once we start this, we're going to compromise the integrity of this tank. And then we're going to have to put that integrity back in place. Okay, so this aside for now. So what we want to do is find the center, same way we did on the glass tank. So we can get a ruler, basically kind of figure out roughly where the widest point is here on this tank, like so. So we're about 32.5 inches this way. So half of 32.5 is going to be 16.25. If we look at where that 16.25 line is, it conveniently lines up with this point right here. We're going to stretch this ruler, this measuring tape across, so we're at these two crossing points. Like so. 1, 2, we're going to bend that ruler, go down the side, and then use it, put a couple of marks where our halfway is. Okay, so now we're going to take a regular ruler and we're going to line that up with the marks we made. And just draw a line. So that's our center. We need to do the same thing on this and find the center of this piece of Lexan. So like I said, this is 8 by 10, so we can measure it this way. Here's your 10 mark, half of 8 by 10 is 5, so we'll mark it 5. We will go down through that first point, 8. All right, we're going to put a mark at 4. That's our halfway. I'm just going to go ahead and draw a line down that. So we can line these two, put these two lines on each other. We're just going to use this bottom stripe as our lowest point on the tank. So put on there like so, line those two lines up. And that's going to give us the dimensions, exterior dimensions of this window. Next thing we'll do, we'll basically just trace this. Okay. So that's the full size of our window. Now, we're not going to make that full size, like I said. We've got to bring that in a bit. So to do that, we're going to come in off of this outer square 1 inch on all sides. So 2 more, and then here, 1 side. There. Now, basically, you can do it almost. 1 inch. There's here. There. So there you might notice after you. So I've got 4 points now. Now we're going to connect those 4 points. And that's going to be the actual cutout we'll make. Okay. Alright, so that square is our actual cutout. That'll be the size of the actual window. Our next step is working on this Lexan piece so it's ready to take some screws. To do that, we're going to want to put another, basically reassemble the frame or repeat the frame we did here on the Lexan and then mark out where the screw holes are going to be. And the screw holes are so you can really press these two pieces together, get a good watertight seal in between the rubber and the Lexan piece. So this is relatively small. You might like a bigger window. You've got some limitations on this tank. You see how it curves here around the edges. It's got a nice curvature to it. The problem with that curvature is it's going to be hard to fit a piece of plexiglass once you get into that curve. You're not going to get a good seal. So you really should keep it to the flat portion of the tank. So looking at this, we could probably fit maybe a 13.5, 14-inch piece as far as width, and then height, probably about 9.5 inches or so. So that's kind of your limits on here. Now, they don't make Lexan sheets in that size. So you could do something like buy a 20 by 24, something along those lines, and cut it to fit. Lexan can be tricky to cut, so I just went with the pre-sized piece from Lowe's. All right, so to do this, you're doing the exact same thing you did on the front of this tank. So you're just gonna come in 1 inch on all sides and then draw a square. All right. And over here, punch in. I'm just erase the backside. In, 1 inch down, and last one. 1 inch in, 1 inch down. Okay, and the same thing. Just gonna line these up. So as I'm using this ruler, I'm seeing how it's had better days. So try and make sure you have a good straight edge when you start this. So now I have my frame. And then I'm going to start, I'm going to come in a 1/2 inch off the edge. And a 1/2 inch off the edge, and a 1/2 inch down. Okay, I'm going to make a dot there, and then I'm just going to repeat that dot every inch going down the edge here. Okay, and that line of dots is going to represent the screws I'm going to put in here. All right, so 10, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so another 12. So I'm going to need 32 stainless steel screws.